Hey guys, what is happening? Dan here, aka Night Fox. Today, we get the opportunity to sit down with Chris and Levi of the Ninja Teens. They wrecked the course this year on their runs on American Ninja Warrior Season 14.
All right, guys, we're back with the Ninja Teens.
They've
given us some time to interview them about their Vegas runs this year.
Round three.
Stage one.
Round three.
Round three of interviews. We'll get there.
Yeah.
All right, so how was it going out to Vegas? This was your guys' first time out there?
Yeah, first time out there.
First time in
Let's go with
Vegas.
that. It was awesome, especially being able to make it there with obviously us two being there together, and then also Jackson, a main other training partner.
Yeah.
The month leading up to it, because you have a month between semis in Vegas, it's you want to make sure you have time to pick your social life back up, take a little break.
Yeah.
But I mean, Vegas is the biggest. It's one shot.
It's
and
what
you're
you've
done.
been
So
training for.
You don't really want to take much of a break, so it's kind of enjoy life for a little bit and then get right back into it. I think I took 2 weeks of flipping my sleep schedule back to being awake during the day, and flipped it back again to being asleep at night. So definitely those leading up to it, it's still an amazing time just to be obviously we said this for semifinals too, just hanging out with everybody throughout the night. It's you're just hanging out with the bros every day. It's amazing. It's
Definitely.
amazing.
Yeah, kind of unlike Levi, I didn't flip my sleep schedule back, so I was just completely nocturnal for the next month, just because I didn't want to go through the hassle of the week of being groggy because I'm flipping it, and then I have to do another week before flipping it.
Definitely.
That just seemed too much. So me and Jackson, he did it the same, he did the same things I did. So that was fun for a couple weeks. Me and Jackson would still come in and do late night workouts, and Levi would kind of be on his own for a little bit, but
Which work, man, work.
yeah, but like Levi said, it was a good time. That's where the money's made. So it's you want to celebrate the little wins, Levi with the power tower hitting buzzer, me moving on, stuff like that. You want to celebrate it, but at the same time, this is where it gets serious.
Yeah. It's not over.
Yeah, this is. Oh, some would say this is literally just the beginning of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we picked up the training quite a bit for it.
Yeah.
And definitely, you guys have high expectations coming off of, you had the fastest run in qualifying, you had the fastest run and the power tower, and you had the mega wall. So you have these high expectations. The work's been paying off, and now it's time to show up.
Yeah. And the greatest thing about Vegas training is you know what the obstacles are really going to be. You're starting off sprinting. It's going to be two high obstacles, a giant, and then they're always going to have the jumping spider.
Yep.
You're going to have the Jeep run got changed up, but it's kind of the same thing, going a big circle. And then you always have the warp ball, quick balance, and then the cargo net at the end. So it's you know what you need to train for to a T kind of, but then not 100% on the same obstacle.
It does get a little confusing because, like Levi said, a lot of the obstacles just because once it gets to Vegas, they're just so big and iconic. Everyone loves them, so they keep them.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you want to train for stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and stage 4.
Yeah.
So we're going through all 4 stages in a week.
Mm-hmm.
So that got kind of hectic.
I
Because
think
one night we're doing just rope climbs.
Oh.
Then we're doing stage 1 mock-ups, super fast speed courses.
Yeah.
Then we're trying to make really pumpy courses to mimic stage 2, stage 3.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part for training for Vegas is setting high road ups. That's when you hit the buzzer and hop down, cross balancing off the trampoline. So you actually set up a line in here going from up top in the birthday party room down to the truss and set up the trampoline. So let go of the ring, run down the stairs, off the trampoline, make sure we're high enough to reach it. Which that was really fun and cool to do.
Yeah.
Because we're all set yes, we want to do that. It's an easy buzzer. You don't have to worry about hopping the ring at all. But
It's fun to see the ninja community when you guys get creative to try to mimic things that you're going to see on the show. So I always when we're building obstacles here to mimic stuff whatever that thing's called.
Yeah, the falling shelf.
Falling shelf. Yeah, that's totally training for the show.
When we first set that up, it was the jankest setup we could
sketchy.
do.
We strapped it up to the highest truss we possibly could, and at the time it didn't have a bearing on it, so we could only strap it to a carabiner, and it's counterweighted, so we had to push it under the yellow bar.
Yeah.
And when we caught it, it twist at the same time. It was
so it's
so
literally
jank.
there's a truss here, and then the X is sitting right here. So the only thing that's making it not up is the truss. So once you
Corner of
catch it doesn't spin. It just flips and drops down on you, and then you gotta make sure you catch it straight. Because if you don't, it's gonna turn completely sideways because it's on a strap. So.
Well, I'm glad you got a little bit safer setup before
We got smarter after it.
Yeah,
but
after
it's
it all
okay.
went down, but it was still a good time.
Alrighty, so let's jump into your runs, Levi, if you want to go first.
In Vegas, it's dry.
So
It's
Yeah.
and dusty.
dusty. Like you can just feel like me especially. Like I feel my nose. Like I'm always like rubbing my nose and stuff. It just feels weird.
Mhm.
But making sure you're drinking enough water throughout the whole night so you don't have cotton mouth. But then you also don't want to get bloated and stuff. So it's rough. It's rough, and then
Yeah, we were like all wearing masks, like because we're supposed to anyways on set. But like people would show up wearing goggles, like
Yeah.
they just didn't want to expose their face at all to all that
so
dryness.
the Vegas competing is definitely something different just because of the atmosphere. Like
Yeah.
other places are kind of normal, like you're used to the same thing. But in Vegas, it's so much drier and all the dust and stuff. So we get 2 pull-up bars for a warm-up rig, which is it's enough.
That's
It'll
what we
do.
use here anyways.
Yeah. Yep, 2 pull-up bars. They call me over. Everybody does the same thing. They take their shoes that they're competing in. They carry them with them to the start line. Then they sit down and change them, wipe their shoes off, and they get up so they don't get the dust. So I'm sitting there, start line, drink some water real quick. I'm pretty sure at one point I finished my water and there was a bunch of others sitting there. I'm like, I have cotton mouth. So I grabbed some other person's. And I waterfall, then switch it around and spit it out so I didn't have cotton mouth.
Never understand how bad you get of cotton mouth until you're there. Like
Yeah.
before, especially in Vegas because it's already so dry, but you're nervous, like your adrenaline's pumping.
Yeah.
Your mouth gets so dry
I
right
bet.
before. So like, I remember before standing up, like one of the producers, Trevor, he's like, "Good luck, man," and I just kept the water in my mouth. I'm like,
Thank you. Well, before we get into my run, actually, one of my favorite parts of Vegas is there's a gondolier ninja, the guys that rode the boat, and they wanted someone to like be on the boat with them, and they picked me and Chris to be the couple. So we're sharing a protein shake, but that's a different part. That was my part.
That's awesome.
that was so.
But
funny.
anyway, let's get back. My run. So I get like they're ready to go. All the fog's coming up, which makes it even more worse to breathe in. But I'm like, hey, it's Vegas. We're here. Get up on the starting platform. They make me do like this little like kind of skid thing with the show, like my safety pass. So I took my finisher patch and my safety pass and put it right in my butt cheeks. So I showed my my finisher patch first. I'm like, oh, there's more. And I like jumped around to show the other one. So it's like good to kind of like loosen up. So I was like tense.
Break the
And
ice.
honestly, like I felt way more like confident and ready to go in Vegas, in both semis and
Really?
qualifiers. Like I felt like I didn't have like any pressure in my like I knew I wanted to do good and stuff, but I didn't feel like I still felt nervous, but it wasn't something like it was just different. So
Definitely.
first obstacle is pretty like it's I don't know what the surfboard looking things. Let's go with that. They're scary to look at just because like obviously like they're the same thing as the striding steps. You don't want to fall in the first one.
Yeah.
So like give you the countdown, give the beeps and the boops, and you're on the circle and you're like, all right, we're not starting here, so you walk all the way back and just dead sprint through. 1, 2, 3, go. I mean, if you stand up too long, they like slide and dip
Yeah.
forward. I don't think I had a problem with those. I felt very good. Drop down. Second obstacle, or get across that, hop up, because it's super high. Get up to the second obstacle, which it's awesome, like how high they are. Like they're totally different than any of the other two. Like Power Tower is tall, but like there's not water under you.
Yeah.
And you're looking straight down. Like I was never looking straight down.
So scary.
Yeah.
It's scary.
So the second one is 3-ring circus. So it's you got this ring that's on a hook, you unhook it and stuff, and then you have the.
It's like a blind catch.
Yeah.
So like there's a curtain covering it, so you can't see where the disc is that you have to grab.
Yeah. So
it like hooks under the curtain, and you have to like go under
so
it
you
and
jump
like turn
up,
around.
You jump up, and then like as you're going down, you want to dip down and turn, and then as you hit the like, it's like a truss with a curtain on it, so it, like pulls you back up, and it'll pop up to a UFO, which is very terrifying.
Oh.
But it was honestly like way easier than I thought. And then from that, you go to another ring, and then you just like hop it over, slide down, and there's a big dismount to just like a slanted platform, which is also very scary because if your foot slips, you're like, oh no!
Yeah,
Like, trying to climb back up.
back up.
Yeah, which felt good on that. I busted my knuckles up really bad on it. Like when I popped it up, I was just thinking like I need to go quick, and because there's time limit. This is the first time course that we're on, so I wanted to go quick. So I popped it up, and I just smacked my knuckles in the bottom of it. But obviously, like you don't feel a thing.
Yeah,
just
you
go
got
back.
so much adrenaline
Yeah, you're so
pumping through you.
focused on anything but pain, like you
Yeah.
won't feel it till like the next day.
So get past the second obstacle, hop up to the next one, hop up even higher onto it, and we got lucky because we had the pretty much the same obstacle in qualifiers. It was the roller coaster, so they're dropping down. Same thing. It was the 3 of them, but it's just a lot bigger, a lot higher.
Way bigger.
So go through. I think I switch grip the first one and just go straight forward on the next ones. I think on the last one, I took an extra swing more than I wanted to, but I was like, whatever, I'm gonna make sure I get this.
Definitely.
Then we get to the jumping spider, which is the one I was like dreading the most because
So intimidating.
it was very intimidating, and like
Anyone falls.
we don't have anything
Yeah.
like that. So
Yeah, it's hard
when
to
we were-
train that.
When we were training, we just took our big like ramp and pushed it up against the wall and tried jumping into that.
Yeah.
Which I felt like I was okay with it, but it was still super scary because you had to be super precise and you didn't want to hurt yourself, like if you like twist an ankle or something like that.
Yeah.
So that really was a struggle with doing that. So looking into it, I was like, okay, we got this, which really sucked because my Converses ripped like a couple weeks before.
Yeah.
But I was like, whatever, we got it. Wiped my shoes off, and jumped off the trampoline, stuck it. I felt completely fine, but I was like kind of scared to slip, so I was like nice and slow and control going through it, trying to figure out when I had to go up and over and stuff. Felt good through the jumping spider after I landed. Went right into the new obstacle tetherball. So it's like, was it 3? 4. There's like 4 what looks like tetherball steps that like circle around just like Jeep Run did. From there you jump to a rope that goes to like the cylinder that's in the middle.
Huge cylinder.
Yeah.
Like, with pipes
And then
and ropes around it.
Climb up the cylinder, you grab another rope that's like coiled around it. So then you like push off and you have to swing around.
It like unfolds.
It reels out.
When we like saw it, we were like, okay, how does this work? Like it's
Yeah.
it's very simple when you watch people do it. Like when you hear people explaining it, it's like, huh?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
seems
Like,
tough to
there's-
explain,
There's
but
ropes everywhere.
There's a lot of ropes.
A lot of ropes.
Yeah, so like you get lower and lower. You have to make sure you push out so you're not just like right next to it. I think I went around like 3 times and got up like I felt like my dismount was super good. I wanted to go a little earlier, but I got off it. Went straight up the warped wall. I think they said I was at like a minute 15 left, so I was pretty like well on time still. Just around a minute or so for the last ones. I noggined the high road buzzer because I really wanted to do that. I mean,
yeah, you got to.
Noggined it, hop down really quick. And I was like, all right, here we go. Like, kind of get your bearings because you like the dipping birds, you want to sprint across them as fast as you can. Fell in dipping birds. I think I made it past. I got to the second one, and my weight was just so far up that I just kind of went straight back to the first one. Just fell down on me. So fell there, which sucked going out on balance, but I had the safety pass, so I was happy that I had another chance and stuff like that. But the biggest kicker was that, like going into Vegas, like Vegas balance is pretty easy. Like we don't really need to practice it, so.
We completely jinxed it. We had it coming.
Like that was probably like the second to last obstacle I pictured myself falling on.
Yeah, like you went in not expecting that to be an issue.
Yeah. So like Vegas training when we're doing like all of our like courses and stuff, like our hardest balance obstacles was just like a box with a BOSU on top. Like it was nothing crazy like we do for qualifiers or semis. So definitely going into it next year. Hope we make it there. Train balance all year.
And it's probably frustrating too because you guys have put in so much work into balance all year, and then like you said, like you're like, okay, balance we're fine because it's Vegas, it's not as bad.
Yeah, like especially because like stage 1 is like that's the core. Like after I'm done with stage 1, I'm like in my like where I want to be. I'm like upper body, technique, strength, block offs. Like that's what I want to do. So really bummer being that close on like my first Vegas run and coming up that short.
Yeah, but you have the safety pass.
Yep.
We'll come back to that. We'll go through Chris's run and then we'll come back and talk about your safety pass run.
Yeah, so like Levi said, just walking up the stage, there wasn't as many nerves as I thought there'd be. I'm not really sure why. I think it's just because you just realize you're at the place that you work for the most.
Yeah. And I think it's like knowing that you're one of the top ninjas there. And like
exactly.
You're like, I belong here. Like you belong there.
Because
so
they only take top 60 out of 400-ish competitors, so it's like just making it there is such a huge accomplishment.
all the things you guys did leading up to that point, plus all the hard work you've put in here for years to get there. So
I think I had just like a little bit of inner peace, like I'm on the stage right now. If I fall, I fall. I'm happy with how I've performed this year, and I can always be back next year if I keep working hard. So right before that, like Levi said, first obstacle is the surfboards. I'm just gonna call them the surfboards.
That's not what it is, but
it's like skateboard-looking things. They're just long boards that tip and roll if you go slow on them, but everyone almost just strides across them so they don't even move. And then to like a slanting dismount platform,
which I think we talked about this in the last one, how padded everything is.
Everything is
Those
so
things are so padded.
He's talking about like the actual like boards that you run across. obviously they want to minimize as many injuries as possible, so they pad everything, but it doesn't look padded. So you step on it, you're like, wow, this is so squishy. I really realized that during Texas.
I could see where that could catch you off guard,
Yes.
where like you're like, all right, I gotta go, and then you step on it, and you're like, oh, that's not
Yeah.
what I thought.
I expected it to be like wood or something like that.
Yeah,
So I got through that pretty easily, I guess, as easy as you can do it. Second obstacle was the 3-ring circus. That's the obstacle that I was most terrified about, just because it was literally just a UFO dangling from a carabiner. It's like our yellow ones that we have here that just tip in any
Yeah.
sort of direction. And the fact that you have to swing like 30 feet in the air, can't see it, turn around in midair,
It
and
just pops
catch
up.
it right in front of your face. Very terrifying. So I was so happy that I caught that, and I just popped to the ring and slid it down to the platform. Huge sigh of relief after that one, because I'm like, let's go. That's like one of the most technical obstacles you can do.
Definitely.
In any ninja competition,
yeah,
not just a show.
just a blind grab, and then
Yes.
especially to a disc where like it can literally go any direction,
Yep.
like you said.
So after that is the coaster, and I was really excited about that. That's the one that replaced the Double Dipper this year, which in my opinion, I think it was a little easier than the Double Dipper. The
Yeah.
Double Dipper seems faster. I've never done it, but I just might think it's easier because I have done the coaster.
Yeah.
Super happy about that. Everything went smooth. I don't remember how I held my hands. It was all a blur. I remember I wanted to go switch grip because the bar does spin just a little. They have like a little bar over the bar, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So it
Like
does,
we do where we slide like the PVC onto
it's
the bar.
like that, but it's just barely over, so it spins just a little bit. I landed in that, landed in the last cradle, dismounted as fast as I could, and the jumping spider's right there, like just staring at me in the face. I'm like, oh, okay, well, wipe off the shoes quick, step back as far as I can, and just run and jump on the trampoline. I was more worried about my jump on the trampoline not being good enough to set up for the like stick.
Yeah.
I wasn't worried about the stick because I feel like like us doing this, like that takes way
Yeah.
more like precision and timing than the actual jumping spider does, just because it's huge.
Yeah.
So once I got a good jump, I immediately knew I was gonna stick it, just because like I wasn't like flailing in the air. It was just like perfect, smooth in the air.
Had you guys done a lot of trampoline work leading up to that?
Not before training for Vegas. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we got our Euro champs here like a month before maybe, so it was like perfect timing for us to actually like start using those.
The only time we really used the tramp was like for the jumping spider right there, and when we, like Levi said, we set up high road and we had to
Yep.
just attack the trampoline, jump as high as we could to try and grab the ring. But
As-
other than that, like we've never had those type of trampolines leading
Yeah.
up till like a month before Vegas. So
Yeah.
As somebody that doesn't jump well, trampolines would really freak me out because like I have a hard time jumping off of the mats and stuff we have set up here, but then have that added in, like I have to hit here to get the best
Yeah.
bounce, and like
it's
Yeah.
stressful.
I would need a lot of work.
And you want to
so.
you want to make sure you're like forward enough that it's gonna be a close jump, but not too far forward where your heels just go straight out from under it
Yeah.
and just slip out. So that's a very precise. Like you gotta be.
It's one of those
Right
things
on.
that people don't talk about enough, I don't think, about how stressful it is to jump off of a trampoline in
Yeah.
Vegas. Because everything you jump to is either really far in front of you or really high up in the air. And you have to get a good bounce, otherwise you're just not going to get there.
Yeah. You could be the best person in the world on obstacles, but if you can't get to the obstacle, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Exactly. So I stuck it in the jumping spider pretty good. I went really slow right away, like super slow, just to kind of feel it out. If my shoes were sticking, if my hands were like not slipping everywhere. But once I got the rhythm, I kind of picked it up a little bit towards the end. You have to go straight for a little bit, and then you have to go up because they have, like Levi said, they have those lines that you have to stay under.
Yeah.
And then you go up at the end, and it's just a big dismount and drop. So I probably spent, I don't know, 25, 30 seconds on that just because I was going pretty slow. And then after that's the tether ball. It's the Jeep Run replacement. 4 steps, that's just like Jeep Run, just at a curve. And then you jump to the rope to get to the cylinder. And you climb up the cylinder to the top, and you kind of just have to push off the big cylinder with your feet. And that's when the big carousel just takes you all the way around. And I think I went 2 or 3 times. You almost have to take an extra swing for it to set you up perfectly.
Yeah.
Some people have tried to go one earlier than like me and Levi did, and that was the risk they wanted to take. It would have saved them like 5-6 seconds.
Yeah, which
Go
is
for it.
huge on a timed
Yeah,
course.
especially
though.
because we had what, like 2:45.
Yeah.
So you want to go fast. So I decided just to play it safe because I feel like I had enough time. Took that extra swing and I landed on the dismount really easily. And immediately right after is the warp wall. You like take 2 steps off the dismount and you're just stepping up to the warp wall.
Yeah.
Right there, I heard the producer say I was at like a minute 10 or a minute 9 or something. Took a quick breather, and then I just ran right up, easy, pulled myself up. I wish I didn't do this, but I high rode all right, noggin the high road buzzer immediately. Like I didn't wait and give myself time to like think about it. I just got up, noggined it, and just went down. So by the time I was down there, I wasn't like in a rush. Staring down the dipping birds, I could just see the high road. Like it's like almost too late. So I'm like, all right, well, I gotta do the ring now.
Yeah.
So I took a deep breath quick, and I sprinted, and I fell. But I feel like my problem was I went too fast. So I'm not sure when they're gonna show, like which order they're gonna show us. But Levi ran before me because I was the second night because like we said earlier, they're really far behind on schedule. So Levi ran the first night, I ran the second night. And Levi said after he ran, he's like, I just feel like I was standing too high up. I didn't like anticipate the drop enough, and that's what made me fall backwards. So I sprinted literally as fast as I physically could. I just didn't even like think about the technique with it. That I just like, I was leaning so far forward, I could not get my foot under me on the last step. And I missed, and I just like was crawling at the pad. And I just
That's so
couldn't get it.
worse is like hitting like the landing platform and you feel like you see some people that can like they land and they fall forward and they can kind of like save themselves and crawl up. And then sometimes like you just hit it and you're like right there. Like last year for me, like rolling logs, I got my like arms on it and it's just like there's nothing you can grab. There's nothing there, which is literally like the worst possible thing. Like possible way to fall is just like getting on the landing platform, not being able to hold on, just going straight back in.
Yep. So the first two steps felt like I expected it, like they're gonna drop fast.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I was just leaning too far forward. I couldn't get my left foot because it goes left, right, left, which I always start with my right on stuff. So that was always
And I'm sure that's
awkward.
why they do it that way too.
So awkward for me, and a lot of other athletes, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just ran too fast, leaned too far forward, could not get my foot up high enough just to, jump just a little bit further to get to the pad. But
And that's something you guys had mentioned in previous balance, like you want to be going fast and leaning forward because that's how you can save yourself a lot of times
fall
if you
forward,
misstep. But in this case, you were too far
yeah,
forward.
obviously you need a controlled speed. Like you can go really fast as long as it's controlled.
Under control.
And
As long
I
as-
obviously wasn't.
Just
so.
need to have light feet and go quick through it.
Yep. So that's my season. Dipping birds got me, and I'll be back next year, and I will run past the dipping birds with a smile on my face.
And then
You guys will
little
be
salute.
like if you get past that next year, you're gonna be so excited, and then you literally have to go on to the
Yeah.
next
Yeah.
time limit.
there ain't no celebrating. It's going right into it. Yeah.
Right into the next obstacle.
Yeah. So yep.
Well, Chris, I want to say congratulations on a great season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You flew like every time you're on a course, you're just flying, and I think that shows time and time again. So a lot of that comes with the confidence and time you've put in because you know you can go that fast because you've put in the work on all the technique and everything else. So.
And that's another thing I do want to add is that like the more you're on the stage of American Ninja Warrior, like my confidence this year was way higher than last year. And like I fell on 8 last year, so there's no reason like I should be overly confident on like these obstacles. It's just like I don't know what it is, what changed from this year to last year. It's just my confidence was
You just know the feeling of being there.
Yeah,
Definitely.
exactly. And that I think that was a big reason why I was just so much faster this year. Was just like my confidence between it, like landing off the obstacles. I'm like, okay, I can just go right into this.
Same thing was like any normal competition. Like I'm sure
Yeah.
like our first competitions, we were nowhere near being the fastest times. It's just being on obstacles more and like being in your comfort zone.
Definitely.
It's obviously just gonna make you go a lot faster.
For sure.
Which I think like now like normal local competitions and stuff like we're pushing to get the fastest times just because like that's what we want to do. We want to be like top competitors and stuff. So.
Yeah. If you're not pushing yourself to get better, then you're not going to get better. So.
Yep, exactly.
All right, Levi. So you fell. You're
Fell,
using your
dipping
safety
birds.
pass.
Yep.
What was that like? So
Ripped.
day 2, you did your safety pass.
So I ripped the old safety pass off, and I'm like, oh, I gotta use this. Oh, I did my old thingy. The worst part is, like, so I went the first night, obviously got wet, I'm going the second night, I can't have wet clothes to run in. Like, I don't have a spare pair of Converse with me, so it's like, we got back to the hotel, and I'm like, oh my god, this is terrible. I take a hair dryer, I stick it in my shoes, I hang up all my clothes so they can like air out as much as possible. Go to sleep at 7 a.m. For some reason I couldn't sleep. I wake up at 3. And I was just like, obviously, like I'm thinking so much. Like I literally had a safety pass I could have used on stage 2 to get me to stage 3, but I had to use it on stage 1.
Yeah.
Right at the end of the course. So I obviously like beating myself up because I'm upset about it. But finally get to sleep. I'm just like, you know what? It is what it is. I have another shot tomorrow. That's what the hard work is for. That's what the safety pass is for.
Yep.
Wake up super early at like 3 p.m., so I didn't get a lot of sleep, which really sucked. Went and got some food, and I was like, all right, I'm going to take a nap really quick. Woke up. I forgot to set an alarm, so I woke up like 15 minutes before we were supposed to load the bus. I'm like, oh no. I run and make sure all my stuff, like my clothes are all dry, my shoes are a little wet. I'm like, it's whatever. I'm feeling kind of like groggy, obviously, because I just woke up. It's just weird.
Yeah.
We get there and they tell us the run order, and they're like, Levi, you're running the first 10. I'm like, oh god. So I ran my second time before Chris, again too. So I mean, everything goes down. I get my shoes back up there. I change them out, and then I think they pulled me up too early because someone else was supposed to run before me too. I think Nate ran before me.
I don't remember.
I don't know, but the other guy that had a safety pass fell was first night too, so he was also running. So I mean, I think I went up there earlier and they pulled me back, and I had to go back up there. So I kind of got iced a little bit, but I wasn't really ready anyway. Got shoes on, just grabbed someone else's water, drank a little bit. Got up on there, they told me to do my old skit thing about like, oh, I don't have a safety pass, oh no. That sucks. But
I bet that one hurt a little.
that stung quite a bit. But yeah, I was like, I know what all these obstacles feel like, so I was like, I know I can do them all, gotta just put it together again. Still felt pretty good, so got across first obstacle, sprinted across them, 3-ring circus, grabbed him. This time I tried not to pop up so hard, but I still smashed my finger on something. Got down, angle platform, hop back up to 40 feet high, grab the roller coaster, same thing, switch grip, front grip, land, front grip, go. And then jumping spike, I was like, I think I took a lot less time, like wiping my shoes off and catching my breath before this. I just kind of took a quick wipe of my shoes and just went for it. Felt good on the stick, I knew what it felt like to be in it, so I kind of went a little quicker, I knew where the lights are. Dismount. Ran around. I think the first time I ran, I kind of like stopped and looked at Matt and Akbar. I was like, "Whoa, yo, what's up, bros?" This time I was like, just wanted to go.
All
Kept on going.
business now.
So I just walked down, kind of took a quick breather, walked a little bit, and then started going. Got tetherball. I climbed up it, grabbed the 14th rope that we had to climb. Went around. This time I only went around with 2 swings. I think because I knew what I had to do. I had to push off more. Felt a lot more confident once I got to the warped wall, which, I mean, warped walls in Vegas is a lot different too because it's not a straight run up. It's
you have like a curve.
here and
you
then
got that
drop
little
down,
ramp,
which
yeah.
I think is kind of cool.
I like it.
I think when I got there, my second run, I was like 10 to 15 seconds faster, which I think is just, I mean, 1 extra rotation on tetherball, and I felt a lot more confident
Yeah,
on
you've already
You're
done
just
all
going
these
jumping
obstacles
spiders,
now.
so
Yeah,
I mean,
once you have a feel on obstacles, you can just go so
it's
much
just
faster.
So had a little bit extra time, so I got on top of the wall. This time instead of going straight to the high road button, I kind of caught myself, took a breath. I was like, all right, here we go. And I noggin the buzzer again, and I was like, I'm just gonna focus on this next obstacle, like dipping birds. So I just slowly made my way down, caught myself breath again, and I sprinted. And I think the first time I went, I tried going like side to side on it instead of just straight. So I kind of go a little bit straighter. I was leaning forward a bit more, that way I didn't catch myself back. We got to the third one, and then hit the landing platform and fell back into the water again. So same obstacle, took me out twice, which...
Dipping Birds 1, Ninja Teens 0.
3. Dipping Birds
Took
3.
you guys out 3
that's
times.
right.
3 times.
3.
Which, just the fact that like falling on like the same obstacle twice in back-to-back nights was really tough, knowing that like I thought I knew what I did wrong and not being able to correct it. It takes a toll on me, or it takes a toll on someone.
On anybody,
Yeah.
For sure.
Like, the first night I was upset that I fell, but the second night I was like, what am I doing? Like, how did I do this? But, I mean, I had a great year.
Definitely.
Made
I mean,
it.
Mega Wall and Power Tower, so
Yeah, I mean,
definitely had a good
You
year.
can't get much better
I mean,
than that. Like,
Wish I didn't have to use the safety pass at stage 1, but, I mean, now next year, getting to Dipping Birds, if I made it one step further this time, my third time through, I should be able to get it if I had one
you
more
still
step.
broke a record.
Yes, I do have the record for falling on stage 1 twice,
He's the only
same
ninja to ever get a safety pass and not make it to stage 2.
Oh,
which I mean,
that's not really a record you want to
it's
have.
not
Record
not the
holder!
best record, but it is a record to have. I'm the only one that hasn't made it to stage 2 with a safety pass. Oof. And it was literally like the second to the last obstacle. Like I feel like I could have gotten it that chance, but
There's always
Still to
next
this
year.
day. This was months ago for us at this point.
Like,
Still to this day, I think
yeah.
about it, and my
Like-
blood boils.
Yeah, like I think obviously like last year I was super upset, like I fell in qualifying, but I think that just being this close to making it onto the next stage, like stage 1 is like there's a lot of people that run stage 1, but like stage 2 and stage 3, that's when it like cuts down and it gets to the
elite. Yeah.
That's where like that's the levels that like we both want to be at, and like
We think we are at.
like
It's just,
obviously
you
we
have
think
to
we're at,
execute, and
but,
that's the biggest part of it.
yeah, and I would like to say I have never fallen on the upper body obstacle.
There you go.
That's also
Now, we've talked about this in the past that like balance takes out some of the best ninjas. You can work balance day in and day out, and you can still just be like a couple inches off, and that's all it takes. And especially something like the dipping birds, like how do you train for that?
Yeah,
like
that's the thing that sucks.
That's
like,
what we're still trying to figure out to this
Yeah.
day. Like,
Like,
how can we
there's-
build something?
There's been a couple
that
obstacles that
mimics it.
try to mimic it, but it's nothing like the same thing. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like we just gotta make balance new. Like
Yeah.
find new balance obstacles that we're not gonna be surprised by, get across it and stuff. Which I think, I mean, I don't like saying this, but we definitely deserve to fall in balance after our training for Vegas. Like we literally did not.
We didn't.
train.
Yeah, we just ditched balance and
Yeah, like before qualifying and
Went to
semifinals, we would literally make a night for balance.
Yeah.
we literally set a day in our training where we do like cardio and jump ropes or abs or something like that. But that morning we just
Do balance.
just do balance
Yeah.
for that hour.
So,
Literally balance.
I
So,
mean, now we know, especially for next year, like, not to underestimate any obstacles, which, like I said, like, who kind of deserved it, but, I mean, still
it's
sucks.
a little bit of a wake
I mean,
up call, but
Yeah.
that's
But
that
sometimes-
might be what we needed.
Sometimes something like that, exactly. Sometimes something like that can spur you
Yep.
and push you to be even better than you already are.
Yeah.
So,
So,
I want to just congratulate you guys both again on
thank you.
phenomenal seasons. I have a blast being here with you guys in training because you inspire me to do better. Just like, you know, our friend Tim, like you inspired him to get started, and, you know, I'm sure you've inspired tons of people to get started with Ninja. So
Thank you.
it's great for you guys, great for our community, and I appreciate you guys sitting down with me. Do you guys have any advice for anybody that wants to get into Ninja or, you know, is thinking about trying it out?
What I would say, especially if you don't have a gym in your area, go outside anywhere, go on a walk, and just find things to climb on, like legally, of course, like
And safely.
safely, yes, legally and safely. But if you look for it, you'll just realize like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I can just go climb there right
Just-
now and hang on it. Like,
Just go hang on stuff, and, like, there's stuff that you can do at home, like, just like a pull-up bar. You can
Yeah,
get a cheap
pull-up.
one for like $20, and, like, you can make your own, like, ninja holds, too, that help with that, the grip strength and stuff. Like, obviously, when you start off, you're not gonna be good, unless you're, like, a high-level gymnast and you have body control, all this
or
stuff.
like professional rock climbers. You guys don't count. You're not beginners.
Yeah, but if you're like me and Chris when we start, you're 215 pounds or you're 120 pounds skin and bones,
Can't get across monkey bars.
you're gonna suck, and that's just you're gonna have to suck it up sometimes.
You gotta deal with life's punches.
So like
sometimes.
looking back, probably almost 4 years ago, starting Ninja Teens up, a 200-pound linebacker and a 120-pound soaking wet basketball player, we definitely do not think that we would have been where we are, like competing at this level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something that I'm super happy that we stuck with, and like happy that we have each other, like push each other. Because like
Yeah,
that
obviously,
helps so much.
like I don't know where I would be like if I don't have Chris pushing me. Because like it's super easy to be like, oh, I was supposed to go work out by myself today. I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Oh, me and Chris have to go work out. Like I have to be there, so he's not there by himself. So
Yeah.
definitely. I would definitely find yourself an accountability partner. I mean, that's in any sport, but especially in Ninja, just because it helps being creative and like coming up with new ideas and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I remember when we first started outside of the gym, like, you know, I'm still in high school when we first started. I was a senior in high school. I was still playing basketball at the time. So I couldn't come here. And Levi was in college in this area already because he's a year older. And he'd come here like 2 times a week when, you know, we'd have college nights or adult nights and stuff.
Yeah.
And I couldn't go because I'd either have practice or basketball games. So I bought a hangboard, which is like, I think you can get a cheap one for like $50.
Yeah.
Which it's not
It's
bad.
an investment,
Yeah,
though.
it was definitely an investment because instead of coming here on Mondays and Thursdays like Levi did, I used my hangboard and did a bunch of pull-ups, did a lot of dead hangs on that. I had a pull-up bar in the basement that I used that I literally just put dish rags on the bar and just held as long as I can.
Yeah.
So that helps with the grip a lot.
Yeah.
So
if you need motivation, go back to Ninja Teens' first post, and you just
Yeah,
That's all you need.
you'll realize what we're talking about when we say
Little
we were beginners.
A little cringy at first, but then they start to get a little bit better and better, and
We're still cringy, but we're better at the sport.
Well, guys, I appreciate you sitting down with me again, and congratulations on a great season.
Thank you.
And I look forward to see what you guys do going forward.
Till next year.
Appreciate it.
I'll have all their social media linked down below, so make sure you check them out. Ninja Teens in Vegas. We want to see them there again next year.
Sir.
Adios, that's it.
Peace.
Deuces.